Hello everybody, this is Moshe, the Electric Israeli, and you probably, definitely reading and hearing and seeing all these awful tragedies that happened in the last month or so with all these hurricanes that have been hitting the Western Hemisphere, especially in the Caribbean islands. Puerto Rico got basically decimated, turned back to the Stone Ages with no electricity and infrastructure for months and months and months. And there's a danger though their biggest dam is going to burst, and it's just awful. And Houston, it all got flooded. In Florida, I have a lot of friends in Florida, and it's just awful. And natural disasters are part of life. And without getting into the reasons and climate and all that, that's not what I want to talk to you about. But what I want to share with you is what I did personally. Because where I live, a few years ago, we got hit with 3 massive storms, almost in a row. The first one was Hurricane Irene, which was a rain event, not too much wind, but a huge rain event. My entire basement flooded, like maybe 4 feet of rainwater. Not because I don't have sump pumps, I do, but we lost electricity. So the pumps didn't work, so the basement flooded, the damage was awful, and anyway, it took me months and months to recover and to fix it and all that. The second one was this crazy snowstorm in October or early November, I don't remember, the year after. The snowstorm was not the big event. The snowstorm was the event when it happened in terms of the trees. All the trees still had their leaves on it, and it was a heavy wet snow. It just knocked out power lines, tree limbs, trees altogether, and it's just another awful event. Then happened Sandy. And that we all know, the Superstorm Sandy, which was not a rain event, it was a wind event. And it knocked the hell out of New Jersey and New York. Flooded, surge waters, everything that you see now in Florida and in all these hurricanes, this is what we had in Lower Manhattan. And where I live, it was just knocked down power. So what can you do if you can, depending where you live, if you're in a single home or depending on the situation where you live. After the first storm, I sat home 13 days with no electricity, and because there was no electricity, the gas station couldn't pump gas. So I remember that it was so traumatic. I will never forget. I stayed in line with my car for maybe 2 hours, just to be the first person on the line and to be told that there's no gas. I remember people driving all the way to Pennsylvania from New Jersey to get gas. It was just awful experience, like back to the Stone Ages. And that's when the Electric Israeli was born. This whole idea. It's not that I didn't know about it, it's not that I didn't care about it. I knew about it. It was like something you didn't do because you just didn't do it. Doesn't matter. I mean, I started to get into it, and I said, this will never happen to me. And then within a year, I got solar panels on my house. I got the Chevy Volt. I got the Nissan Leaf. Then I got one of the best investment, which paid off the year later. And if it's not going to work, if I'm not going to use it for the rest of my life, it was the best investment I ever made, and that was a standalone generator, not propane or diesel, like a natural gas generator that get the natural gas straight from the underground. If you have that ability. If not, if you have a generator that you have to put fuel in, make sure you have fuel reserve all the time. Bottom line is that standalone generator plus the 2 electric cars have absolutely saved me. The next one was Sandy, and we were without electricity for 2 weeks. I was able to go everywhere. I was able to charge. I was able to stay home with heat and electricity and internet. And I am telling you guys, depending on where you live, and if you live in zones that get hurricanes or tornadoes or flooding or whatever, start getting this one at a time. If you get even a plug-in hybrid like my Volt, is a lifesaver in this situation. You can still drive to the grocery store. You can still go around. The first thing I will buy is a standalone generator. The second thing is an electric car or plug-in hybrid. Later on, if you get a solar array, solar panels, that'd be great. And my next list on the bucket, my next list is Tesla power wall, just to, in case gas is cut off, so you have all the backups. It's adapting to the changes. Obviously, those of you who watch my channel all the time, you know that the long-term solution is that we cancel out fossil fuel burning and we all move, so we get a real solution. But in the meantime, and I'm doing my part, and I know many of you are watching this channel doing their part. So the long-term solution is to do what I do, or what many other people do. But in the short term, a standalone generator, an electric or plug-in hybrid car, solar array, and Tesla Powerwall, or any kind of backup battery. I don't favor any manufacturer, as long as you get it. It's really can save you. I cannot tell you the feeling of those of you suffering it right now. Obviously, I don't have to lecture to you. But if you have not experienced sitting at home 14 days, even a week with no electricity in the cold, man, it stinks. It stinks. So I think these weather events are not going anywhere, unfortunately. They're probably getting more violent and more extreme. And the best you can do is to prepare yourself one at a time, one thing at a time. So I hope this was helpful. I'm really trying to be helpful here, not trying to talk politics, or just trying to be practically helpful, because I've been through it 3 times, man. It was rough. It was really, it stinks. So besides changing the world one electric car at a time, prepare yourself. Do one thing that will keep you at home and not dependent on the mercy of others. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow.